Alright, so welcome to Forget Facebook, where we're going to address 9 key things you must be doing on Facebook in order for it not to be a total waste of your time, and not only your time, but your company expenses if you've invested in advertising and all these other bits and pieces. The good news, however, is the fact that I don't want you to forget Facebook. I want you to embrace Facebook. I want Facebook to be a really key part of what you're doing. But until you understand properly what you need to be doing and these 9 very significant points that I'm going to teach you, I fear that you may be wasting your time, and if that's the case, you need to stop. So what you're going to learn in this video presentation, you're going to learn the role that Facebook plays in your overall marketing. You're going to learn the type of marketing that you need to master. You'll learn the importance of an optimized fan page, what your number 1 timeline priority should be. You're going to learn how to sell via Facebook. There's all sorts of nonsense out there saying that you can't sell and you shouldn't sell. And I'm going to teach you, how to sell via Facebook. You're going to learn what to post and how often. You'll learn how to get a return on your investment with promoted posts. And possibly the best thing about this in the entirety is the fact that you can learn how to do all of the above in just 1 hour a week. Alright, so yeah, you can go ahead, you can have a proper presence on Facebook, you can monetize it, you can grow your list, you can generate leads, all through 1 hour a week. So about me, my name is Mutya Marapa. I am the founder of Matrix Global Media, and I'm a direct response marketer, a consultant and teacher. And sort of my areas, if I'm teaching or consulting or providing done-for-you services, they're in the areas of web pages that convert. So I don't tend to do these wonderful looking ones, these whiz-bang glamorous looking ones. I put pages together that convert, that generate leads and that sell. Also email marketing, social media, direct mail, multimedia, so video, audio, things like now, webinars, teleseminars, those sort of things as well. Copywriting, I believe that's probably the biggest strength any marketing initiative can have, because if you can use words that persuade and then that sell, you're in really good shape. And then advertising as well. Now, my social media world and career pretty much started off about 3 years ago, where I wrote an ebook called 6 of the Best, where I basically covered 6 essential social media tools that would kickstart social media marketing. I coupled it with an audio program, which was 6 of the Best audio. And then, as you saw earlier, I also created a podcast, and I called it Ask the Experts. And where that sort of has found a place in the market is between Thanksgiving in the States, so sort of late November through to sort of just before Christmas time every year. I just sit down and I tap up and tap into some of the great authorities and experts out there in the big old wide world, and I interview them, asking them, what's their story, what do they know, what recommendations, how can they make us better. And so Ask the Experts pretty much became a social media Ask the Experts, where I had the good fortune and the privilege to speak to great people like Pat Flynn of Smart Passive Income. We spoke to him about blogging. The leading authority on podcasting, Cliff Ravenscraft, the podcast answer man. Joe Barnes, who was and remains a very, very important person to me, was my first Facebook teacher, still plays a very, very significant role in my development and my learning. And I'd spoken to Joe about Facebook marketing on Ask the Experts. And then James Wedmore, who really has sort of trailblazed the whole video marketing and YouTube marketing, if you like. We spoke about YouTube strategies. And Laura Roda, just an outstanding teacher and role model in all forms of marketing. But I spoke to Laura on that occasion on Twitter marketing. So what I'm trying to say to you is that I've done my homework. Not only have I sort of put some things together myself, I've also learned from many good people and I've tried to pass it on as well. And every couple of years, I get a handful of people who are looking to work from home, and I teach them how to do that, providing, among other things, social media management services. So, my own Facebook career, I suppose, for want of a better word, or story, began with a very simple offering that I had. It was called the Small Business Facebook page. And the only thing it really was, it was with the old, I don't know if you remember that FBML tabs that we had with Facebook. It was just setting up a landing page on a Facebook wall. So if you remember, somebody like, for example, Dr. Shari Corbett here could say to somebody, yeah, visit me on Facebook. She would put a link for Facebook. And then when people went over there, instead of going straight onto her wall where there was conversation, we would direct it to a landing page. And here's another example. This is me. Just there, I put a very simple one together. You see a YouTube channel where I sort of said, welcome, let me do this for you. But the important thing, if you can see below with the red arrow there, was the opt-in, right? I would set up opt-ins, download PDFs, coupons. That was my first sort of entry into Facebook. Then it all changed, and in hindsight, it changed so much for the better. In 2012, when Mark Zuckerberg went ahead and introduced Timeline. Now, for us marketers, it was quite a worrying time, particularly the ones who had sort of set our stall out to provide a specific bespoke offering. Mine was all about the opt-in, a very simple thing, and all of a sudden, here's Mr. Zuckerberg here saying, right, we're changing it. And thankfully, I've said it already quite a few times, but I'll continue to do that. I like to try and surround myself with as many wiser people than I am, just strong, smart people in my various areas of knowledge and where I want to sort of advance. And these three people really helped me out when Timeline changed. On the left-hand side is a guy called Alistair Munn, who I actually went to school with. Alistair is an exceptional social media and marketing and strategist sort of guy and mind. It's a bonus that he's a friend of mine. But when Timeline came along, I did sort of say to him, look, I mean, what's going on? And he said, listen, this will level the playing field. If you're willing to sit down and learn, this really will level the playing field. So just sort of regroup and start again. Joe Barnes, who I'd shown earlier on with the Ask the Experts with Facebook, Joe, I'll never forget this, sent out an email just as soon as it changed and said, don't panic, it is what it is. We're not sure, but I'm looking into it. I'm going to sort this out. I'll get back to you with some findings, but I do think that it's not going to be as difficult as most people are making out. And as always, it will be ultimately what you make it. And then on the right hand side is my buddy Jeff Molander, who has wrote a fantastic book called Off the Hook Marketing, and it's all about how do you make social media sell. And when Timeline came through, Jeff again was very, very encouraging about the fact that, hey, listen, you've got a bigger platform now to explain about what you do via Timeline, so don't give up on it just yet. So what I thought I would start with back then when Timeline formed was the design aspect, because let's be honest, the look, the aesthetics of the page was changing. It had changed. It was automatic. You had no choice. So I thought, well, look, I've been doing landing tabs up till now, so that could be a bit of an opportunity to make hay in just designing timelines for people. And the other thing I was quite anxious to do was there was all sorts of tuition and packages and things like that coming out about Timeline. And what you find with most forms of social media, it takes a little while to bed in, for want of a better word. So people who, March, the new Timeline was introduced, and literally next few days and weeks, people are coming out with all these programs, and, this new program will help you. And I just felt, I just want to sit and watch and observe and take some things in before I start actually showing people how to go about marketing via Timeline. So Timeline design was where I started. I'd mentioned Dr. Shari Corbett before, and so for example, this is what we would do. We'd just create a series of cover images, make sure the branding was very similar to how Shari liked it, We would do highlight images. So these are all the different visuals that would be posted on this new marvelous real estate. In addition, we did the smaller pin posts. On the left hand side there, you see there was an audio program that Shari put together called Getting the Help You Deserve. So once again, just created an image of that Shari could put on her timeline and promote it. And then on the right hand side, there was a landing page again, a sort of custom tab. So while the option of sending people directly to that had been taken away with the timeline, they actually did have a lot more opportunities. And on the right hand side, that's just an example of one of the custom tabs that we created. Well, after doing that, I slowly but surely started moving over towards the marketing side of it, because you put a page together for somebody and it looks great. So you've got some wonderful visuals with the design, but unless you then start actually marketing your page and marketing your business, not a whole lot would happen. So I went ahead with FB Timeline Marketing, and I was slowly beginning to create a bit of an FB Timeline product suite, which I was enjoying. And as you can see, it was just there, simple opt-in. You go there, you put your email in, and I'll just do some training. And here it was again. We began to really roll it out. Got the Facebook Timeline Marketing fan page. Formed a group on LinkedIn, which you're very welcome to join. Twitter, there is an FB Timeline Marketing Twitter profile, and YouTube with videos where there's a lot of how-tos and case studies and all various bits and pieces. So I really sort of gave myself permission to become immersed in this and to go ahead and teach and nurture the next generation of timeline marketers. But as time went on, I realized that the issues were not really in getting results. People weren't getting results, and it didn't have to do with the marketing per se of their timeline. The issues had to do with the management of their timeline. Okay, so they just weren't sort of strategically managing the process as well as they needed to be. And the big aha moment for me came from one of my teachers, who is just an outstanding mind, a brilliant mind out there. His name is Eben Pagan. And one of Eben's sayings is often, sell them what they want, teach them what they need. So for example, when I was doing those landing pages and when I was doing designing something, of course they would come to me, the clients would come to me and say, Mucha, please design a page for me. And I would do that. I would sell the design. But then I needed to teach them what they actually needed. How could they move that forward? So what was needed when I began to think more and more about it was a timeline management framework. Okay, actually putting something together with you to managing it that, amongst other things, would break down and explain timeline. What is timeline? What does it do? What are your options on timeline? Also wanted to show how to optimize the new real estate, because there's so much space, so many visual opportunities on timeline. Wanted to make sure that the framework would show how you could grow your fans and generate leads. Posting. This became such a significant strategy and opportunity on the new timeline. But what would you say? How to say it. Then there was the selling via timeline. Right back in the day, Facebook were very big on making sure that this was all about social. Family, friends, you chit-chat on there, you swap notes, pictures, videos. But as they began to move more and more towards their IPO, when they went public, they definitely had a bit of a shift in saying, right, we need to get more and more businesses on side. So therefore there were opportunities to sell. I wanted to really figure this out. And then finally, all of the above needed to be done in a timely fashion. Because one thing I was just hearing all the time was that people were saying, look, we simply do not have enough time to be on Facebook all day, just waffling away there. So as I realized that there was need for a framework, a timeline management framework, I started working individually with a few clients, including the always impressive Dr. Steve Grinstead out in Sacramento. He's got a wonderful offering called Freedom from Suffering. And as you can see there, this is something he very kindly posted in our LinkedIn group, where he just said thank you for the coaching, and he's understanding more about how to do it in an effective way. And thank you, Steve. It's always been great working with you. Then there was Mandy Errington, who has got a really cool boutique in Ipswich, the town where I live in the UK, called Deja Vu. And I go in and provide some coaching for Mandy, and in between folks coming into the shop and her answering phone calls and so on and so forth, we set a few goals and objectives at the start of every lesson. And we were hoping throughout that day to get 100 likes, and as Mandy's just explained here, within hours we managed to get them, and that was a lot of fun. And then there's Alshra Sebutite, who's based also here in Ipswich. Alshra is a local business marketer. She provides support to the local businesses. A wonderfully talented photographer, but also a sharp marketer. So via some teaching on how to do social media, she's created her marketing offering and provides some services to her local community here in Ipswich, which also includes a Lithuanian company that's got a nice little sort of cafe and bar over here, Lapiukas, and she's done some great things with them. And you can see these are all on the previous page. Was a cover she designed and the tabs that she put together, some images of a party that they had. She goes in there, she takes photos. She's made their timeline wonderfully aesthetic and highly responsive. But unfortunately, when it comes to timeline and Facebook, there is so much lousy information out there, and some of the things that you're told, and we're all told by people, which just isn't the case, are things like you must post throughout the day. There is a notion that the more fans you have automatically leads to the more sales. That fans visit your timeline page often and actually look at the timeline itself, the entire thing. Your posts are seen by everybody. We assume that each and every time we go with a status update there, everybody who likes our page sees it. Others say that Facebook is a complete waste of time, and while I once upon a time thought that myself, that is most definitely not the case. Also, that you cannot sell via timeline. You cannot, and you should not, and that's total rubbish. Folks think that you can only succeed by Facebook ads, meaning, in order to really sort of make things happen in a big way, you've got to advertise. Not the case. And that only certain industries benefit on Facebook. You'll get people who say, right, I'm an engineer, or I sell chemicals, or things like that. I shouldn't be on Facebook, and that's not true. We also talk about that need for people to get to know, like, and trust you, and really, that's the only thing you should be doing on Facebook. Others say that here today, gone tomorrow, that Facebook is just living on borrowed time. And while I can't give you any guarantees that it'll be there in 3 years' time, I can show you how to make hay in the meantime. The next is that you cannot track progress and sales via Facebook. And I'm a direct marketer. We survive or don't survive by our ability to track and test, and I can tell you right now, you can indeed track progress and sales via Facebook. Some people think that a fan page can replace a website. They say, well, with all these modern opportunities on Facebook and landing tabs and so on and so forth, I don't even need a website anymore, and that is the wrong way to look at it. And then others feel that it's okay to regularly promote your business from your personal profile as opposed to your business page. Finally, the last couple, some people say that there are too many changes on Facebook, that it's totally impossible to keep up. And then finally, that if you're to properly manage a page, that it takes a lot of time. So, as I said to you before, I believe it boils down to 9 key things that you must be doing on Facebook in order for it not to be a total waste of your time, efforts, energies, and your resources. Number 1 is you've got to view Facebook as a form of media. And what I have in front of me here is the marketing triangle made famous by the legendary marketer Dan Kennedy. And he believes that every marketing strategy, every marketing system needs to be looked at like a triangle with three concepts, three parts that are all similar. Not one takes preference over another. Another analogy he used was a three-legged stool, meaning if one of the legs is gone, you'll fall on your backside. And it's very much the same with marketing. So when we look at it here, we look at the message. The message is, what is it you're saying? What are you saying? What are you promoting? What's the message? The market is to who? Who are you speaking to? Too often we decide that we talk about Facebook, for example, 1.1 billion people on Facebook. So straight away we think, oh, there's just so many numbers. But really, who do we want to tap into on Facebook? Do we want to tap into men, women? Do we want to tap folks in America or in the UK or in Dubai or wherever? So you've really got to get very, very, very specific with this. And then finally, the media, the how. Okay, so you've got the message, you've got the market, and you've got the media. So to give you an example, in this video presentation here, my message is, unless you do these things properly on Facebook, you're wasting your time, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Who am I doing it to? Who am I promoting this to? I'm promoting it to small business owners, entrepreneurs, folks with products and services and programs that they would like to promote and sell on Facebook, and also people who provide this service to others, social media managers, for example. And the media that I'm using video. This will be on YouTube, it will be in some various other places. So this is the form of media. Okay, so Facebook is a form of media. This gentleman here is sadly no longer with us. A truly brilliant marketer and copywriter. His name was Gary Halbert, and he believed that there were three things that you need in order to effectively sell. First is something tangible, something, a product, a service, a program, something. Next, you would need a story or a sales pitch. What's so great about what I've got to offer, or this is how I learned so much about it, and these are the very many ways that it can benefit you. And then finally, the delivery platform for that pitch or that story. Okay, so for example, with Matrix Global Media, right, I mentioned before, I'm a direct response marketer, trainer, and consultant who also provides some done-for-you services. That is what I'm selling. This is what I'm selling. This would be my message. Okay, and then the form of media that we look at, how I use it. I use web pages, I use email marketing, I use social media, I use direct mail, I use multimedia, I use advertising, I use telesales, I get on the phone and call people, and I go face to face. And then in social forms of media, okay, so when I break down my social media, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, I podcast, I blog, I'm on Google Plus a little bit, and SlideShare. So you've really got to stay with me and understand this, because this will explain why so many people are often lured to these different forms of media, like Facebook, like Pinterest, like mobile websites, like it's the next best thing, but they don't quite understand the role it needs to play. This is a client who I work with every once in a while, and when we first started working together, I always like to find these sort of marketing pillars, as I like to call it. And he's a franchisee, okay, and at the time we got together, the main consistent form of marketing that was taking place was a monthly email coming from his headquarters. And as you can see, I just like to put the one pillar there. Now you can tell that if that is holding something up just in that direction there, it's going to crash. It's just not going to work. So to start with, you move it into the middle, and it's still a bit wobbly, if you like, for want of a better word. But there you can look at it, and you can actually see that there is only one form of marketing taking place. So what we did with this client, we went ahead and first of all, I created some bespoke web pages for him. So you can see that on that side. And on the right, we coupled that with email marketing. So now all of a sudden, we took away that sort of quarterly or monthly headquarters email, because that wasn't something that we could sort of really control what would go in there. So we got him going to networking, breakfasts and lunches and things like that. We had the web pages, and on the right hand side we had the email marketing. So these were all different different forms of media that begin to form that sort of strong structure to the marketing strategy for a company. And as you begin to add different ones on here, like direct mail, partnerships and joint ventures, workshops and training, social media, and then you can see I've left some blank here, okay, on the far side. That could be PR, public relations. On the left hand side it could be advertising. And as you can see in there, I have put another pillar for the Facebook business page. Now again, one thing you're going to learn with me, I am ultra specific on things. I want you to understand more than anything. You've got to understand. It's so important that you do. So when I put that red mark there, that, for example, is a Facebook business page, and you can see it. It is sitting alongside all the other forms of marketing. So your Facebook page is a form of media. It's not more important than any other form of media, nor is it less important. It should not and must not stand alone, okay? But it must function in a way that creates a direct response, okay? So when we go back again and we look here, you see your Facebook page sitting in there. I think when you've got direct mail, you've got advertising, they are all vitally important. What you need to do is understand that it's one part of media for you, and then the role that it will play, how to effectively maximize that. So think of your Facebook page as part of an overall media toolbox, and in that toolbox you may have a number of things. And the reason it's so important that you think of it that way is that it also enables you to take a very brutally honest assessment of where you are now. How many different forms of media do you have in your toolbox at the moment, okay? And is Facebook in there as one of them? And are you treating it just as another form of media? Number 2, we talk about what are you selling? Have you been clear? Now, again, we could turn this around and say, what are the objectives for your page? It's the same thing. We're going to move into that slightly. But what are you selling? Is it clear via your timeline that people know what you're selling? Not the nature of your business, not the industry you're in. What specifically are you selling? So when you look at FB Timeline Marketing, my page here, I've marked a few of the landing tabs there in yellow and also in red. And you can see the ones in red are, if you click them on, I've actually got things that you could buy, that you would pay me for, okay? Timeline coaching, where we'll one-on-one, we'll get on Skype and we'll coach through, or I'll go to your premises if you're close enough, like with Mandy, and we'll go there and we just do the coaching. You see the timeline advertising. We set up those same landing pages for clients so that they are able to advertise on Facebook, put on some Facebook ads, but then we send them to a bespoke landing page within Facebook. We've got design. I'd spoken to you about that before. Still create these wonderful looking covers and timeline and all the rest of it. And then interestingly enough, if you look at the two yellow arrows, it says free audio tips and free timeline training, okay? Yes, indeed, they're free, but you're put into a funnel, which I'll talk about later, and there are things to sell eventually for the people that sign up. Same with my timeline design. And do you know, this is the interesting thing. I think it's worth pointing out even now, this early on. If you look just under the word FB Timeline Design, and it says 89 likes. Okay, so this is this thing about you've got to have your massive numbers in order to sell. No, you don't. What you need to have is the right audience there who are actually looking for what you're offering, and then you need to show an opportunity for them to purchase. And as you can see there, I've got the advertising landing page again. I've got a deluxe package, and I've got a timeline starter package. And then here on timeline dimensions, what I've done here, this was a really weird one, but it's a fan page. Probably my favorite page that I enjoy the interaction with. I'd originally set it up just to show people the new dimensions for the page. Although I can provide services, I do want people to understand what they're doing themselves if they want, So I went ahead and I created this timeline dimensions, and just, letting them know how big the cover is and how big all these various other things are here. And this has just gone from strength to strength. But when I say what are you selling, the other thing is you look over here, I've at least explained what the page is about. I've let somebody know what the expectation is if they come here and they like the page. So when I say what are you selling, of course, selling for cash, for money, is what is going to sustain your business, right? And help you get to that next level. However, you can also use your timeline for something else if you want. Just be specific about it. And the other reason why I think it's always important to have a selling shop window on Facebook is for these, what I like to call Casino Royale moments. Those of you who saw the first Bond movie with the fantastic Daniel Craig in, there was a terrific scene when, while playing poker, 007 has a drink that has been poisoned, and it becomes very, very obvious quite quickly that unless he gets some sort of help here, he ain't going to be 007 for much longer. And in a great moment here, he goes back to London via radio. Of course, they see that he's in bad shape, and one of the guys there says to him, "Listen, Bond, you've been poisoned. You've got 2 minutes to live unless you do exactly what you tell me." And Bond says something like, "I'm all ears." And the significant thing about that is that, while in quite a bit of pain, while in a situation where he knew that, hey, listen, I need to do something about it, there were some people here who told him, look, we've got a way to help you, we just need your attention. And sure enough, he made it back to the poker table, and the story continued. But what I mean by that is, you are always going to have customers in Casino Royale moments. Now, of course, we don't want people coming up to you saying, I'm poisoned, I need help. But what we're saying is that the stage they are at in their buying curve, it is so important that you understand that, right? If you are not showing what you can sell on Facebook, if you don't specifically have a product that costs X amount, and you have a photo and an image of it and a link on how to buy it, you're going to miss out on these opportunities when you get people who are just where they need help. They are all ears. They're in pain. They need to have something done right then and there. So you must create that shop window on Facebook. Even if you only do it every once in a while, you must let people know that they can buy from you. So what are you selling? That's the point too. What are you selling? And here's another example of the timeline covers that we had put on. I put fancy a great design for your business page, then visit and click on. This is on Facebook. I've had people click on, and I've designed them covers. So we've covered a couple of points here, all right, and we're getting very deep into it, but I want you to have a real understanding. You must forget being on Facebook unless you are treating it as a form of integrated media. Right? Think of the toolbox. Facebook just sits there. So that's why you should never be in this mindset where someone says, oh, we just have to do this or we just have to do that, and you treat it as the be all and end all. The more that you add, the greater ways that you have to get to different people, particularly in the way they receive information. But think of it as a toolbox. Secondly, that you have clear and concise objectives for your fan page, including selling. Right? Have a purpose for your fan page. Tip number 3, external sales and marketing funnel. So what do I mean by that? Okay, in simple steps, as you can see here, all I mean is post something on timeline, include a link to an external web page, and make sure that there is an opt-in form where you can capture an email on the web page. So for example, I set up, when I was doing so much of the marketing training, it became very obvious to me that a lot of people had not even set up their page the correct way. Okay, so there's no point me saying to them, okay, you need to do this and you need to do that, and they're saying, well, hold on a minute, I don't actually have that. And some were even running their businesses from their personal pages. So this is an example. If you look back now, I've said post something on Facebook, include a link to an external web page, and then ensure an opt-in form is on the web page. So here I just asked, do you have a Facebook business page or do you promote your business from a personal page? I said, here are 11 reasons to do most of your marketing from a business page. I put a link here. What you're looking at here was on my timeline. and then this is the web page. Same looking visual, all right. Went there. You can see there was a YouTube video of me speaking, saying a few things, only a couple of minutes, and then at the bottom there, you could see where folks could then sign up and be put into my email list. Number 4, we talk about optimizing your fan page, and there's all sorts of interpretations and definitions of optimizing, but what we're talking about is we're just basically saying maximize the efficiency of your timeline. Okay, optimize. And most of the time here we're also looking at opportunities to click through and gather responses. So as you see, I've got 4 arrows here, and I think one of the big areas to optimize your fan page is with the username. And whereas before we were very big on sort of the brand name, and I still think that should the majority of the time take the preference. However, if there's a particular product that you've got, I mean, you've seen mine, that's fan page timeline dimensions. I think I've got a small business timeline marketing as well. You want to use that name if you can, particularly if you have a passion page, as Mari Smith likes to call it, of a specific product, where you use a username that's in line with that product. So even though your company might be, Jones Baker Energy and Bears Limited, but if you live in the town of Cambridge, and you sell fish and chips, why don't you just say facebook.com/Cambridge Fish and Chips? That's what I mean. Also, underneath the profile there, you see where it says 180 by 180. That area is just an area that I've got a very personal opinion about that, because I deal with a lot of local businesses who still want to use that local business classification, which takes away the ability to put a link under that 180 by 180 profile area. I prefer to either put a product or a service or a business person or a consultant or something that will allow you to optimize it and put a link there, because it tends to be one of the most clicked links on your timeline. Then when we're talking about optimizing your fan page, we're also looking at the thumbnail tabs on the right hand side there. You have up to 12 of those, and you can really maximize them. Here is the legend that is Mari Smith, who I just believe is such a savvy marketer. It is unreal. Wonderful lady, wonderfully warm and all the rest of it, but don't you be too fooled about the fact that she's got a very sharp entrepreneurial brain and business savvy here. And as you can see, once you've clicked on the About on Mari's page, look at all these links and hyperlinks. She's fully optimized it with keywords, links on the right hand side, products, look at that. Extreme Fan Base Growth, of which I'm a previous alumni. Books, I've got her Facebook marketing book. There's Business and Beyond, Social Midas, Facebook Money Mastery, and then of course her website at the bottom. So I talked about those tabs before, and if you see over here, you really need to do all you can to maximize these tabs. And once again, I'm going to show you something very interesting. This is my Matrix Global Media fan page. I have 70 likes, 70. For the longest time, I only had 45. I don't know where this recent growth spurt came in. However, these tabs that I've got there, with the timeline marketing, coaching, products and services, e-copywriting, I've made money from them. Why? Because I've optimized the page. You can see links for training on there. You can see the tabs which lead to products, services and programs that I offer. So we are moving right along, and I think it's really important that you're taking notes here, where I'm saying to you, unless you are treating Facebook as a form of integrated media, unless you have clear and concise objectives for your fan page, including selling from there, unless you have an external sales and marketing funnel where you can post something on timeline, then send them to a web page, and it'll either be a sales page or it will be a page where you can capture an email address. And finally, unless you are optimizing your fan page, I fear that you may be wasting your time on a timeline. But as you've seen, all these are highly implementable, and I got 5 more for you. The next one is probably the single thing that has helped me just really prove that there is an ability to be profitable via timeline, and that is to prioritize emails over fans. Okay, we went through a phase right at the beginning, and I still think it's out there quite a bit, where we're asked to like a page before we can get access to it, right? So I'm thinking, why not just spend as much of that time getting something really compelling that someone will give you their email address for? Now, when I talk about prioritize emails over fans, I'm also specifically talking about autoresponder software, because there are so many programs out there now that make it very easy just to go ahead and set up an email on your timeline. Two applications that I use, Aweber and MailChimp, as you can see, they have their own apps. So all you need to do, if you've got an account with either or, you just go to Facebook, you search for Aweber, the app will come up, as will MailChimp, and literally, as you can see, just a couple of clicks and you've got it set up. I'd mentioned Alshra earlier on with what she was doing with Lapukas over in Felixstowe here in Suffolk, UK, and down where I've got that blue arrow, you can just about get that little MailChimp Guy logo there. That is just one of the apps where Alshra opened a MailChimp account on behalf of her client, just set up the form like that, clicked on, and before you know it, it's there on the page, and they are collecting emails. Number 6, this was probably the defining part of Timeline, the cover. Just gave you so much of an opportunity to really show things off in all their glory. And I still think it remains one of the most underused aspects of Timeline. And I just say that, if you do not quote unquote cover your entire offering, I think you're wasting your time on Facebook. Now let me explain your entire offering. Okay, I'd spoken to you before about Matrix Global and the different things we do with advertising, social media, web pages, and so on and so forth. You need to create covers for every different aspect of your business, your products and your services. And I also like you to start with actually the human beings that are there. Show the premises. Alright? Now, this is Mailboxes, etc. One of my clients here in Ipswich, and as you can see, they have an all-in-one solution. Just went into the shop there. I took a photo of the sort of the back wall, if you want. And here are members of the staff. They do printing, they do binding, they do dissertations. So we went ahead and created covers, and as you can see, these are very simple covers. You don't have to go nuts with creating these whiz-bang style graphic ones. What we want to do, we just want to get covers that go ahead and tell a story for you, show what you do, show the solutions that you provide, the relief that you can bring, the transformations, the results, okay, the answers. Use your covers for that. Here's another one. They do shipping, and this was just before Valentine's Day, and we said, here to help you express how you feel. Packing and shipping of auction items. They had a very, very high profile client last year where they sent something all the way over to Canada, made a cover of it. Special offers, 2-for-1 leaflets. Gift certificates, you see. So this is what I mean when I say go ahead and cover your entire offering. At Christmas time, instead of just saying Merry Christmas, what it was Christmas treats, courtesy of Mailboxes, etc. And it had Christmas card design, gift certificates, it had packing and shipping, calendars, newsletters. So again, included the offering as part of the cover. Now this is where it gets very, very interesting, and this is why I want to see you changing your covers regular and often. What you're actually looking at here is a newsfeed. Okay, my newsfeed. I like Mailboxes, etc. Ipswich. So whenever they post or they go ahead and they change their cover, that will show in my newsfeed. But this is where it becomes even better. There is a way that when you update the photo, and if you click on the image itself, and it says edit, you can go ahead and you can write a message and a link. So now, instead of when I go ahead and get the actual cover and I see it in my newsfeed, I would have the opportunity, let me just go back here, I would have the opportunity of actually seeing a link. So I would click on this image and then I will see that link, and then I could go externally to their website. So this is where it's really powerful with covers. Every time you change a cover, it shows in the newsfeed, and if you add a link as well for one of the offerings that you have, that gives you an opportunity to generate sales, or at worst, capture an email. Okay, so what I wanted to actually show here as a bit of a case study for the covers is this sharp lady here. For those of you that don't know Chalene Johnson, she's based out in the States, and I guess next to Dean Graziosi and maybe Sandy Krakowski, these three have serious marketing stamina. You know, just all over the place, doing things all the time. It's inspiring. But the reason I wanted to show you Chalene is that she really takes it to the next level when it comes to what you do with your cover. As you can see, she puts a lot of fans and clients on there for a start. But look at this. I wanted to just show you this. She has got, you look at the bottom of the red arrow, 143 covers. So I just showed you with mailboxes a little while ago, maybe 6 or 7. 143 covers. And think about this then. Every time Chalene changes her covers, right, that shows in the news feed of her fans. She's got nearly 150,000 likes, and she's got 143 covers. So just think about that. If you've got half a dozen covers, and on your covers, not only can you put sort of things about your product offering, but also talk about what's going on in the world, you know, times of year, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, Easter, you know, 4th of July, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do that, but maximize the potential of these covers. Okay, right, so we've gone through the Forget Facebook, we've gone through the whole treating it as an integrated media, clear and concise objectives, selling, external sales and marketing funnels, optimizing your fan page, prioritizing emails over likes. Go in there. I didn't mention MailChimp is a free application, so you can go. There's no excuse for you not being able to gather emails via your timeline. And then display your entire offering as cover images and change them at least once a week. Okay, you don't have to go down the route of Chalene and have 143, okay, but change them once a week. All right. Tip number 7 is you need to post each and every day. You must post each and every day, and the reason is Facebook created something called EdgeRank. And what EdgeRank was basically an algorithm, or in real sort of simple terms, a checklist in which it would decide how much information goes into your newsfeed. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is that this is the newsfeed. Remember, I said at the start, we sometimes assume that when somebody likes our Facebook page, they see our entire page every day. They don't. They rarely go back and visit our page. This is what they get. They actually get newsfeed. So, for example, if I like 5 businesses, the likelihood is I would see the majority of those 5 businesses in my newsfeed. However, if I like 15 or 20 or 25, Facebook is very considerate about that, in that they won't show everything, because otherwise I will just be bombarded with, at times, rubbish, with junk. Okay, so therefore they created EdgeRank to try and work out, okay, what pages does Mucha like? Okay, and those pages that he likes, and he's demonstrating that he likes them by his interaction with the page, we will ensure that they go in the newsfeed. So with EdgeRank, right, they consider 3 different things: affinity, weight, and time decay. Okay, affinity is how does someone regard that page. Okay, I'm a big Manchester City fan, and so anytime that there is anything that City post in my personal one, I'm there, I'm sort of clicking, I'm commenting, I'm sharing, I'm really there. Weight, okay, with the post and weight, just a regular status update where you just write something will not be as strong as if you post a video or an image there. So there's genuinely there's the weight of the comment as well, or the post that you're putting in there. And finally, time decay. Okay, Facebook has that mindset that you're pretty much only as good as your most recent posts. So this is why it's so important to post each and every day, so that people continue to see this, and at different times as well they might see it, and then they act in a way where they will then receive more information from you in their newsfeed. And that moves us right on to the next point, which is ask so you can receive. Okay, so if we know that with EdgeRank it's very important for us to get likes, comments, and shares, you need to ask for them. You need to actually specifically say to people, please like this comment, or share this with your friends, or what are your thoughts on A, B, C, X, Y, Z, for example. But you've got to make a conscious effort to go ahead and ask for a response. And then point number 9 is pay as you post. Okay, now I had put right at the very beginning that there was a theory that you can only succeed on Facebook by advertising, and that's absolutely not the case. All right, I showed you the timeline dimensions page earlier on that has at the moment 811 people on there. I have grown that organically. I've got a Facebook timeline review page that's got over 4,000 people. Haven't spent a penny of advertising on that, so it can be done organically. However, we're now in a position where this pay as you post, or that boosted post as they like to call them, are available. Now, it's not as simple as it looks, and I think that you've got to sort of show, you've got to have a bit more knowledge about it in order to really benefit from it. But I'm just looking at something here, for example, on my timeline dimensions, and if I wanted to go ahead and put something out that would show between 5,000 and 9,200 people, it would cost me £20. And it says people who like your page and their friends. Once again, I've got a theory on that. People who like my page, that's okay. Their friends, not always the best people to tap into, but there's a way around that, okay, which I'll talk about later. However, you must really take a look and consider going ahead and paying as you post. And this is why, okay, on the previous page it was £20. Now it's down to £5. And for £5 it could reach an estimated 1,400 to 2,500 people. That's not bad. But you know, if I want to take it even lower and I want to put £1 there, £1, because now you see Facebook has allowed us to set our own budget. This will go to between 300 and 550 people. Now, where I am in the UK, the price of a stamp, I believe, is 60 pence. All right, so let's think about this, and the price of a second class stamp is 50p. All right, so what this is saying to me here is that I could promote a post that could go to between 300 and 550 people, right? And that is the same amount of money that I would pay to send 2 second class letters to people. So do you see, it's a powerful opportunity. The key is what you put in that post. So over here, what I've put is the promoted post strategy. Okay, and it's not too dissimilar to what we were talking about earlier on, about that need to promote the post on your timeline, then include a link to an external web page. Ensure that an opt-in form is on that web page. So somebody will see the post, you send them to a page. On that page is a place that they can put their email address in, and then it can also lead to a sales page. Now, if you pay £1 to get 300 people to come over to your page, okay, and you take them to a link that has a sales page where you're selling something, that would be a tremendous return on investment. So when we go ahead and we talk about these things, and I just want you to be clear, and this is why I keep repeating myself here, okay? You got to make sure that you treat Facebook as a form of integrated media, okay? You must have clear and concise objectives for the fan page, which includes selling. You must sell from your timeline. Have an external sales and marketing funnel that you set up. Optimize your fan page. Prioritize emails over likes. Go in there, get something cheap, like something free like MailChimp. Go ahead and add the app there for nothing, and then at least you can start contacting and capturing emails and then contact them afterwards. Display your entire offering as cover images, okay? Change them at least once a week, include special events and holidays. Make sure that you're posting every day. This is vitally important for EdgeRank purposes. Ask, okay, when you go ahead and post, say to somebody, please like this comment, or please, share it, or what are your thoughts on this, this, and this, so people will turn around and comment. And then finally, make sure that you are paying to post. So I hope these 9 points have helped you. I do have them on slides, so if you would like to go ahead and download the slides for them, that will be absolutely fine. You can go through them at your leisure. This video will tend to stay up, but just in case you don't want to sort of go through the video and you just want to have the slides and really take time to let them digest, you feel free to do that. Just go to forgetfb.com/slides. You will have to put an email address in there so I can send them to you, but you'll have access to these slides. However, I do have even better news for you. How would you like me to help you create the type of Facebook business marketing strategy that will allow your presence on Timeline to reach its full potential? And how would you like me to provide you with examples and a template of how to post, what to post, and when to post? And how would you like me to show you how you can do an entire week of great posts in just 1 hour of your precious time each and every week? I think, the time aspect, where I'm saying to you, we can create a timeline for you, a strategy for you that not only allows you to grow your list, generate leads, sell, but we can do this all for you putting in 1 hour of your time a week. And then next, how would you like to receive a collection of short video tutorials covering all the tips and strategies I've discussed in this presentation, plus a few more? And finally, what would it mean to you if I could give you 3 hours of coaching similar to this, where we focus on some specific areas, plus additional private access to me on a regular basis? Now, some of you will be on here who are my family and friends and know that it's not easy getting hold of me and getting my attention for so much time. Phones are always off. I check emails literally once, maybe twice a day, because I'm focusing on the business. So how would you like to know that you could have private access to me on a regular basis? Well, I'd like to introduce you to something that I've been working very hard on, and I'm so proud to announce it. It is the Facebook Timeline Management Blueprint. And the Timeline Management Blueprint is a step-by-step work guide that will show you how to design your ideal Facebook fan page, how to effectively optimize your page. It'll show you how to grow fans and generate leads. It'll show you how to sell via your Facebook marketing. And finally, it will show you how to efficiently manage your page on a day-to-day basis. So the blueprint is a work guide. It's a PDF. It's an 88-page blueprint, and it consists of lessons, teachings, case studies, and video tutorials. It is, however, easy on the eye. I mean, we've just got some copy here. It says 88 pages, and people, oh gosh, I haven't got time to read that, but it's very easy to follow. But it also includes what I call some focus videos. Okay, as you can see here, this says the Facebook 5-minute focus. Alright, I've got a 7-minute focus. So within the actual blueprint itself, I have got a series of videos. I think the last count were there were about 15, maybe 16 videos, all between 5 and 7 minutes, where we just talk about a few strategies. There's a few teachings which I show you via video. It's almost like you're literally just looking over my shoulder. And then the timeline management blueprint itself, over those 88 pages, it's broken down as follows. I mentioned before about the timeline covers and showed Shalene as an example, and I call it Google doodling your covers. You look at those Google doodles where they have just different themes, behind them. That's what we cover in the blueprint. We also talk about what I call the power line. There's an area on Timeline that has enabled me to sell with only 45 likes or 89 likes on the design side. So it's really important to go ahead and optimize that power line. But more than that, understand what the power line is all about. Next, we talk about timeline apps. As I said right at the very beginning, this is how my career started, doing those apps, custom tabs, landing pages, however you want to call them. This ultimately is where the rubber hits the road with the management of your timeline. if you can fully maximize the potential of the apps, you will maximize the potential of your business on Timeline. We go deeper into understanding EdgeRank. We said you've got to get people to like, share, and comment, so we talk more about that. Then there's the posting. I said previously we want people to like, comment, and share. Well, the make or break of timeline management is posting. What do you say? How do you say it? That's what we focus on, and that's a big part of the blueprint. Pay as you post. I've spoken to you a bit about it before there, and the big problem I had with promoted posts was the fact that you had no choice as to showing it to people's friends. And I've got one or two clients there where, I'm not saying I know their friends, but I know for a fact their friends wouldn't be interested in what I'm selling. So I had a problem with that, but there is a way for you to do promoted posts, and you can target who you want. We cover that in the blueprint. Facebook Insights. This information, as I said, as a proud direct marketer, we really we succeed or we fail by the results we get, and we need to have that feedback. And insights are a great way to learn how to know what to do more of, what's working, what's not working. Fan page growth. Even though I did say to you that growing the fans isn't the be all and end all, you do want a healthy number of people there on your page, so we're going to go into that in more detail. And then of course sales. It's the ultimate payoff. This is why I want you to become an exceptional timeline marketer, so you can sell. And then we rinse and repeat. This is the need to be frequent and consistent with your learning and your implementation. So, how much for the blueprint, you might be asking? Well, last year when Timeline first came out, and the start of this year, for £95 here in the UK, I was showing clients how to design their page, how to build a following, and then how to monetize it. So the price of the blueprint is £95 beyond July. So just keep listening and I'll tell you what you can get it for today. I've also got some bonuses, and this is really important, but I think it's very significant. Normally you look at products that you can buy and everybody loads it up with bonuses and great bonuses and bonuses that sometimes don't make sense, and I needed to include these bonuses, and let me go through them very quickly. First of all, you get lifetime updates, and the reason why you need lifetime updates is that Facebook is always changing. Just the other day, it's unconfirmed at the moment, but I'm just waiting to double check. It looks as though, again, they've relaxed the 20% text rule on covers, for example. So anytime there are updates, I will get this information to you, and this will take away the need that you have to sort of turn around and think you need to know everything. But there'll be no charge for the updates. I'll just update it. If I have to update the ebook and then send it back out, I will. There will be a members area where I'll be loading it up eventually. Not at the moment, it's just the ebook at the moment, and then I send you to a private area for the videos, but you'll have lifetime updates and you'll never pay for them. There are 3 coaching calls. Now these are actually going to be standalone webinars one day, similar to this, where people will pay to actually go onto the webinar. They'll pay £97 just to go on those hour-long webinars, okay? Those coaching calls. You will get those included. You will not pay for those coaching calls. Then we've got a management checklist, and this is literally something that we'll be able to say, Monday, this is what you post. Tuesday, go ahead and do this. Wednesday, do it this way. Thursday, so we're going to take you through that way, so you've got some information that enables you to start from that blank sheet of paper. And then as time goes on, you'll get your own style, of course. But the checklist is vitally important, and it can really help you. The 4th bonus are management resources. There's going to be bits of kit that you need that can take you to the next level. Whether it's me saying, okay, go to these 3 places for your best application pages, or this for this kind of software, or if you want logos done here or there. And it's just a resource list. It's a big list. Some of them I use, some I'm just aware of and I don't use, but it will give you an opportunity to have the information readily available as you look to build out your page. And then finally, the most eagerly awaited audio program in the household is Nurse a Better List. And I just sort of laugh around there because My old friend Sarah Santa Croce has been waiting and waiting for it, but it's just about ready, double S. And the reason for this is an audio program on Nurse a Better List. So much conversation goes into the money's in the list, the money's in the list, build a list, build a list, build a list. But what do you do when you get that list? How do you ensure that if somebody signed up like you have now for a specific video presentation to listen to, how do I make sure that a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you're still happy to receive emails from me, I can still add value, and I can still help you along your journey? That comes from nursing a better list and nursing that relationship. So I'm doing an audio program. I've done an audio program on that, and you'll also get that as a bonus. So just to summarize, we've got the lifetime updates, which will be the work guide updates, the ongoing video tutorials that you would get access via the members area. That has a value of £95. The coaching calls, and in those coaching calls, the first one is growing fans. It's an advanced thing on how to get more people on your timeline. We'll cover application and custom tabs, how you can do them yourself, and then some of the sort of other paid services that you can look at and consider. And then we've got FB Ads, where I talk about the Power Editor. It's a bit of a robust, at times clumsy bit of kit, but it's something that is hugely effective and something you need to learn. And we'll also cover Facebook offers. Then we've got the content checklist, where it's me actually telling you what to post, how to post it, how to go about doing that. The resource guide, telling you where you can go to get certain things done that can help your timeline and other programs and software that may be of use. And then nurse a better list. And as Sarah said, you have to nurse your email list. She quoted me, and I did say that, and I got that from my dear old dad, bless him. Dad used to always talk about, hey, you got to nurse relationships. And I just like that whole analogy of nurse, just really sort of moving you along, coming from a real place of service, and dare I say it, love, because I think it's really important too that you realize with that list, they signed up for a reason, and let's nurse that relationship so you can all benefit from it. So when we look at all those bonuses plus the blueprint, that would be normally a price of £644, which of course is not going to be anywhere close to what you're going to pay for it. The blueprint is £95, as I said, but it's either going to be till the end of July or until I've got a specific number. I've got the number fixed in my mind. We are going for that for £45. Okay, there's a £50 off this launch offer, and just because we're launching it, and I will guarantee you, if you watch this either towards the end of July or you watch it after we've filled the quota, you will click on the button and you will see £95 there. You will not see 45, but for the moment, until further notice, it is £45. So you get the blueprint plus the bonuses for £45. And in addition, it's really important that you get and you feel that you've got your money's worth from this. So I am putting in a 100% risk-free guarantee, right? If after 30 days, if you've got the blueprint, you've been attending the initial calls, we won't have them all within that 30 days, but you feel that this is really helping you, great. But if you feel that you get it and you're thinking, well, no, I'm not learning this, or I'm not getting the information that I want, no problems, no harm, no foul. You just come back to me and I will refund your £45, and you get to keep the ebook. Alright, so you do have a guarantee on that. So you get your bonuses, once again, totaling £644, which of course I'm putting to 95 as the normal price. You can get them £50 off for £45. And the final bonus, and this is what I was referring to with the private access, I'm going to create a private Facebook group. I think it's been a long time coming for my timeline offerings. Okay, I will make that announcement a bit later on, but that's going to be the place where I will hang out. Okay, so once we've done this, and while you're following the work guide and you're watching the videos and you're attending the coaching calls and so on and so forth, you'll be able to have access in the group and with other people who have invested in this as well, and we'll be able to swap ideas, see what's working, what's not. And I haven't yet put a price on that. It's not like I would ever turn around to somebody and say, this is the cost just to join the group. I think you've got to come through the teachings, you've got to come through the program first in order to really benefit from this. But there will be a Facebook group, a private group. I'll be in there. I'll certainly be in there every week. I'm not going to say I'm going to be in there every day. I'll be in there every week, but there will be other people who you can bounce ideas, and it will be very, very beneficial, I know. So I'm throwing that in as a bonus as well. Okay, so you can get all that for £45. You're going to see on this page, depending on where you're watching it, there'll be a link, there'll be a button, there'll be somewhere where you can go ahead and make the purchase. So I am Mucha Marapa from Matrix Global Media. I'm the proud creator of the Facebook Timeline Management Blueprint. I thank you for your time. For watching this. Please sign up for the slides. Make sure you get the slides. Go over this. Remember the role that Facebook should play in this. It will not only make you an exceptional timeline manager, it'll make you an exceptional marketer. So thanks again. I hope we get to work together. Just click the buttons over here in order to access the blueprint, and I'll hear from you soon.